The Golden Girls won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about Turner and Hooch.
Wow, this is not your room.
Wow, that was the best Tom Hanks impersonation I've ever heard.
Yeah, this is my Tom Hanks. I'm Tom Hanks. I don't like dogs. I'm fastidious.
Fastidious.
I'm fastidious. I like things. I like them where I put them, and I put them where I like them. And I don't want no stinky dog chewing up my things.
That's true.
We just played the audition tape
Yeah.
that Tom Hanks
That's
did.
how he got the role.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, it's really good. We like the fastidious part, but could you change the voice just a little bit?
No, I'm never doing it. This is the voice I'm doing. I want to try something different.
I don't remember his Scott Turner. That's
Yeah.
his name. I was like, no, this is my Scott Turner voice.
Scott Turner. I'm a policeman.
I
I don't like dogs.
I'm working in the big city.
Yes. Oh, man. So this is number 3. Number 3 in our Dog Days of Summer.
Dog Days of Summer. Man, it is hot. Woo, buddy.
Damn it is hot. It is
hot.
And just so y'all know, we're basically... If you've ever seen the movie Cool Hand Luke, and you know the box that they put him in, that little hot box.
Yeah.
That's where we are. That's where we're filming today.
We're recording inside a hot box.
Yeah, we're in North Carolina. Inside a hot box in a men's prison.
We got arrested. We've been in prison. They had allowed us to bring our equipment.
Yeah, we were bootlegging in some dry counties, South Carolina, and old Sheriff Andy Taylor, Deputy Fife, picked us up.
Oh, he's a nice guy, though.
Adam won the egg eating contest, the hard-boiled egg eating contest.
I ate 437 eggs.
And then they threw us in the box.
Yeah.
Oh, but Lord, it's hot.
I tell you right now, gonna have some stinky farts.
Oh, God, yes, it's true. It's true. Well, if any of you are still listening. So this is our third entry into our Dog Days of Summer.
Finally, to one that I've seen before.
Yes.
And really love.
Yeah, look, this is the best of the bunch. Although, I haven't seen Top Dog yet, so I don't want to get premature.
Fingers crossed, it's my new favorite movie of all time.
Chuck North, he might pull it out at the end. I'm going to win. Yes, that's me, Top Dog.
No.
But this is the best of the bunch. Like we said, Oh Heavenly Dog is an interesting watch just because it's a weirdo movie. And you got...
Chevy Chase.
Well, Chevy Chase, but the...
Jane Seymour. Oh, Benji.
Yes, but the bad guy...
Omar
Sharif.
Omar Sharif. I would get to him eventually.
I knew you would. But yeah, just to see the insanely awesome bad guy performance.
Oh, yeah. Worth the price of admission.
Man, he delivered. He did not growl his way through that dog movie. Anyway, and then K9 last week with old Schlubby Schlubs. Working man Jim Belushi.
K9 was the movie when you went to your mom and it was like, hey, we can go see Turner and Hooch. And your mom's like, we've got Turner and Hooch at home.
Yeah, and
it was K9.
Yeah, and it's the $4 DVD she got at the Publix.
Yeah.
But this one, up until the end,
I know.
is a good movie. Okay.
I know.
Look, if you haven't seen this movie,
yes,
shame on you.
Yeah. Spoiler.
But we're not going to hold back. So there are going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back to the show. Look, this movie nailed it until the end.
Until the last scene?
Yeah.
Although it did allow Tom Hanks to have a really good dramatic moment.
Right, which if you want to know the biggest difference between K9 and Turner and Hooch, watch the doggy death scene.
Yeah.
Because in K9 he doesn't die, but he thinks he's dead.
Right.
But Belushi's just doing shtick. Yeah. There's no emotion at all there.
No.
It's just pure shtick. I did not feel one bit of sadness. I mean, I felt bad for the dog, of course, because I'm a human.
I mean, he got shot, but it's sad.
It didn't get me in the gut when Belushi was like, wait, I'm just talking like this, and I'm not going to get my glue, because I'm not going to show any real emotion, because you're just a dumb dog. And then the dog is fine, and then he's like, you tricked me. Yeah.
I'm so mad.
Right, because, tough guys don't cry. Tough guys got to be tough. So that was stupid. But in this movie, they make the horrible decision to kill the dog.
Yeah.
Never kill the dog. especially in a comedy, never kill the dog. I don't care how many puppies that you bring out at the end of the movie. It's not going to make up for you killing the dog that we've loved for the entire film.
They still could have had the emotional response from Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Where he thinks he's dead.
Yes.
But then he's not.
Right.
Easy.
Could have still had the puppies and everything.
Easiest fix. Yeah. And the ending would have been great because it would have been great to have Hooch with the female dog whose name I don't think we ever actually got.
I don't think. She was a very pretty collie.
Very pretty collie, yeah.
She was a hot bitch.
But like have him, he gets the phone call. It's like, oh, he's acting up again. And you assume it's Hooch. And then you come in and it's Hooch just sitting there all tired because he's got all these puppies. And he's just like, I'm tired, Dad. And then you see the tiny little...
Well, you do the whole thing with the puppy. Mastiff. And then Tom Hanks goes, Hooch, take care of your kid.
Yeah.
And then Hooch comes fluffing it in. And, the dog's like, ooh, and then you have a cute thing with doggy dad. And then a reveal.
So easy. Would have been so easy.
So easy. When we get to that part, I have a sneaking suspicion is why I was done.
Okay.
But we'll get to there. But anyway, other than that, it's a really fun film. This is prime Hanks, man. My favorite Hanks era is from Bosom Buddies to like 1990. Now, look, Tom Hanks is an exceptional actor. Don't love, but Philadelphia is a great movie. It's not something to watch over and over again.
I fall asleep to that at night.
Yeah, exactly. That and Schindler's List. Those are my feel-goods.
He's phenomenal in that movie.
Phenomenal in Forrest Gump, which is still a super great movie.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to cover that. Some hits and misses. He made one of the worst Coen Brothers movies ever.
Yeah, that's right.
Unfortunately. And, but at least he's trying. Tom Hanks, America's, now I guess Grandpa, used to be America's dad.
Yeah.
But for me, Splash Hanks, Hooch Hanks,
The Burbs
Hanks, the crazy, physical,
that motion he does. Where he's like, let's go.
Yeah, where his whole body's a whip flapping around, and he's blah, blah, blah. He does unhinged, and I know I said I was going to retire that word, but I'm using it in a proper response.
Right.
But he does unglued, let's say.
Unglued, yeah.
Better than anybody back in the day.
He does better scream comedy, yelling comedy than anybody.
There's a pitch to his voice when he does that is strangely reassuring. Yeah. And also, it's like it's a very comforting freak out.
Yeah.
It's not...
It doesn't seem uncontrolled.
Exactly.
It is this weird controlled... He's just that good of an actor.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a charming freak out, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you have Reginald VelJohnson, who was just fantastic. Always fantastic.
Always so good.
And always playing a cop.
Always.
I wonder if he ever thought, maybe I should have been a cop.
No.
Wouldn't have made a lot of money. And you have Mare Winningham, who I think is one of the most unsung 80s actors.
Yeah.
She got kind of, I'm not going to say typecast, but she got kind of, she had some baggage thrown upon her because of St. Elmo's Fire, I think.
Right.
Because, this is so stupid too, because she plays the quoties fat girl. Who's not at all.
No, obviously not.
She's a beautiful woman.
She's just the other that he doesn't want.
But I think, unfortunately for her, and we noticed this yesterday, she is the perfect combination of Ali Sheedy and Leah Thompson. It's like they morphed those two humans together to create Mare, and she's always a charming actor. She's got this great edge to her that is on display in this.
She's so good in this movie.
Such a cool foil to him.
So confident.
Yeah.
And so, I love it.
There's no damsel in distress. There's no having to rescue her, right?
Yeah. No, not at all. She's
a strong woman.
I mean, she comes to his aid, and
exactly. She knows what she wants. She's the one that initiates the relationship because he's too much of a.
She pushes it hard, and he's like, and maybe it's because she knows he's leaving, and she's kind of like, have a weekend fling, But he stays, obviously,
and the subtle change to Hanks's character through, you just start with the tie off and then a button undone, and then he doesn't worry where the thing is, and then he doesn't care about
to the point when he's making breakfast, he cracks the eggs open and then throws them into the sink from across the room. The beginning of movie Tom Hanks, Scott Turner would have never done that.
And it was great. And you got Craig T. Nelson, who is one of my all-time favorite actors. I always hate it when he plays a bad guy because he does it so well. Because he's so good at being the double-do switcheroo. Because you're like, you automatically root for him, and you want him to be the good guy. And you're like, no, I don't want him to be the bad guy. And then when you find out he's the bad guy, you're just so sad. But he's so good at it.
He's so good.
You got John McIntire from... your favorite movie.
Yeah, from Psycho.
Yeah. He played the sheriff. He plays old Amos.
Yeah.
The owner of Hooch. It's
a great movie.
It's great. It's very self-contained. It's in San Diego, which I love.
Yeah.
Was it in San Diego? No. It was in Monterey.
No, it was somewhere north. I think Central Coast. I think actually
Canine was San Diego.
Canine was San Diego. I think actually this was mostly filmed down in like Long Beach and Huntington Beach and stuff like that.
Seems like it.
But it's a made up town. Cypress Beach or whatever.
Right.
Is some made up place.
But it's a very kind of Northern California town.
Yeah.
It seems to get that like Santa Barbara
and he's
vibe.
going to Sacramento, so like it makes more sense that he's further north between here and San Francisco, or whatever. Exactly. One of those beach towns, small beach towns where everybody knows each other,
right?
Except for the vet, apparently, because he never had a dog.
It's a new vet.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. She was new.
She just moved in.
And he
it all was explained.
I know.
In the script. Anyway, let's get going.
All right, let's get into it. Take yourself back to 1989.
Yeah.
July 19th, United Airlines Flight 232 crashes in Sioux City, Iowa, killing 112 people. 184 on board survive.
Good Lord. What survivors remorse?
This I remember very specifically because I grew up in Iowa. I remember very specifically when this happened because someone was outside filming it.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't get the landing gear wouldn't go down. Like there was an engine that went out. They had essentially a flap or something went loose and it cut through all their hydraulics.
Oh, wow.
And they literally had no control over the plane.
Oh, my God.
And when they landed, it just broke into pieces. I'm shocked that anybody survived.
Oh, yeah, and so many people.
Yeah. And all 4 of the pilots ended up living. Surprisingly enough.
But at what cost, Adam?
I know. July 26th, the federal grand jury indicts Cornell University student Robert Tappan Morris for releasing a computer virus, making him the first person to be prosecuted under the United States 1986 Computer Fraud and Abuse Act.
Yeah, that's when nobody... It's so funny. You watch like war games or you look at like old computer documentaries and they just thought, well, who's going to break into a computer?
Yeah, why would we
need security? How is it going to happen? And then it happens, and they're like, oh, jeez.
And that's the first thing the kids think of.
Of course.
I can break into the Pentagon?
Of course. I just love that. I love it.
July 27th, in the largest prison sentence to date, the Thai financial scammer May Shamoy Thipyazo and her accomplices are each sentenced to 141,078 years in prison.
Does that mean they just rot there?
Their skeletons are still sitting there to this day. July 28th, Turner and Hooch is released in theaters.
Yeah.
So Turner and Hooch was originally written by the writing team of Dennis Chirac and Michael Blodgett.
Blodgett and Chirac.
Yeah. Chirac's first produced screenplay was for the 1969 Western comedy film The Good Guys and the Bad Guys, which he co-wrote and co-produced with Ronald M. Cohen. His second film, the 1977 thriller The Car, starred James Brolin and Kathleen Lloyd.
Okay, that's a pretty fun movie,
I
think. Yeah, isn't that a thriller?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Chirac wrote for a variety of stars, such as Chuck Norris in Code of Silence in 1985.
Chuck Norris!
Yeah. And Clint Eastwood, he wrote The Gauntlet in 1977.
Oh, my God. Have you seen The Gauntlet?
Oh, yeah.
That's
a great movie.
It's so stupid, but it's such a great movie. So I just got to tell you this because you're going to want to rent it right away. Clint Eastwood and this witness he has to get this witness to Las Vegas for this trial.
Okay.
And everybody in the world's trying to kill him. And he ends up, the great ending of the movie is he takes this bus.
Yes.
And he fortifies the bus.
Yes.
With armor and stuff. And he and she drive down. Everybody in Nevada
everyone's attacking the
is
bus.
trying to murder them before he gets there. It is so crazy, but it's so much fun.
It's good. It's a great movie. Yeah. The only thing I really remember about it is the end with the bus.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the only thing you need to know.
So Chirac also co-wrote the screenplay for Pale Rider in 1985, directed by Clint Eastwood, which became one of the highest-grossing Western films of the 80s, taking in $41 million.
He was a ghost, Adam.
Oh, was he? Because he was a pale rider.
Yeah. It was such a good movie.
It's a great movie. So Blodgett started as an actor, most notably appearing as Gigolo Lance Rock in Russ Meyer's 1970 cult classic Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Yeah, it's a crazy performance and a crazy... Have you seen that movie?
No, I've not seen Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
It is... We're definitely going to cover it.
Oh, yeah, I figured.
Because it is outrageous.
Blodgett was growing dissatisfied with the roles he was being offered, so after making an appearance in Disco Fever in 1978, he retired from acting and started writing. He released 2 novels in 1982, Captain Blood, along with Hero and the Terror.
Ooh, I know that was turned into a movie starring...
Yay, Chuck Norris.
Yeah. His 3rd novel, The White Raven, was released in 1986. Blodgett adapted the novel to film in 1998, starring Ron Silver and Roy Scheider.
Nice.
Blodgett would team up with Dennis Chirac to write 4 screenplays. Rent-A-Cop in 1987, starring Burt Reynolds and Liza Minnelli.
Good Lord, that was a bad movie.
That was an awful movie. Holy crap.
Poor Burt Reynolds.
Such a bad movie.
Poor Liza Minnelli, too. It was just so bad. That was like, oh, baby, man, Burt Reynolds was in a slump then. That's when he did, like, 2.5 Cops or a Cop and a Half or whatever. It was like him and a little kid.
He also wrote, Dennis Chirac and Blodgett would write Hero and the Terror in 1988, based on his novel starring Chuck Norris. They wrote Turner and Hooch, and then they wrote Run in 1991, starring Patrick Dempsey and Kelly Preston.
I like that movie.
One of my favorite guilty pleasures.
Oh, yeah.
That movie is so good and so ridiculous.
It is, but it's fun.
I love it so much.
Back before Patrick Dempsey was the sexiest man alive, and was just this nerd.
It was him. He's taking a car to New York from somewhere, a big fancy like sports car.
Yep.
And delivering it for his boss, and he ends up getting into a underground poker tournament, or poker game, and he ends up fighting with who turns out is the son of a mob boss, and the guy trips over a tree and hits his head on the corner of a table and dies.
Yep.
And then what do? They turn, and they're just like, run! You
gotta run.
And the whole rest of the movie is him just running from being murdered. It's so good.
Yep.
Anyway.
Must have been exhausting.
We're definitely going to cover it at some point. Neither of them have any credits after Run in 1991. No idea what happened to them.
Well, I can tell you, Run didn't do well. That's what happened.
Blodgett would pass away from a heart attack in 2007, and Chirac died from congestive heart failure in 2016 at the age of 80.
Oh, they both died of broken hearts.
Yeah, they did.
Because nobody liked their movies.
Nobody liked their movie. I did. I loved Run.
Well, if you would have told them, maybe they would have lived at them. I'm blaming you for their deaths.
Wow, ouch.
You broke their hearts.
Touchstone Pictures acquired the screenplay for Turner and Hooch for $1 million, largely negotiated by Chirac, which was the highest amount ever paid by Touchstone for any script at the time.
Weird.
The Turner and Hooch script was turned over to Daniel Petrie Jr. for rewrites. Petrie had made it big with Beverly Hills Cop, released in 1984, starring Eddie Murphy, grossing over $300 million.
Oh, yeah.
In 1986...
Listen to our Beverly Hills Cop episode.
That's right. We have a Beverly Hills Cop episode. In 1986, he had his script for The Big Easy produced, starring Dennis Quaid and Ellen Barkin.
That's a good movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It is good.
The film was a modest hit, making less than $20 million, but was a critical darling.
Yeah, it was a fun noir.
Yeah. In 1988, he had his script Shoot to Kill produced. It was directed by Roger Spottiswoode and starred Sidney Poitier in his first role in 11 years, Tom Berenger, Clancy Brown, Andrew Robinson, and Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, it's such a weird cast.
Also, again, another one of my guilty pleasures.
It's a good movie.
It was one of those that was on TV all the time.
Yeah.
And I loved it. The opening sequence where he's kidnapping somebody. You don't know who the killer is, and the whole point is you don't know who the killer is because he ends up in in a crew, like they're going hiking.
Yeah.
But you don't know which one it is. But the way that they get away with that is that when he goes to the car, he just has a blanket over him and the other person, and so the sniper can't shoot because they're going to kill the kidnapper or the kidnappee. Mm-hmm. And he gets away. It was just anyway.
Yeah, you got Tim Berenger as a Mountain Dew showing Sidney Poitier the ropes.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so good.
And was Kirstie Alley the one who was kidnapped, or is she part of the?
No, she was kidnapped.
Yeah.
She was
the damsey in distress.
Yeah. It was critically lauded, but made just under $30 million, so it was a modest success.
I saw it in the theater.
Oh, yeah, good. Petrie would start directing his own scripts with Toy Soldiers in 1991, starring Sean Astin, Will Wheaton, Louis Gossett Jr., Andrew Divoff, Mason Adams, and Denholm Elliott about terrorists taking over a boys' school.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
Yeah, I remember liking it. It was interesting.
I love Denholm Elliott. He was from
so good.
The Indiana Jones
Indiana Jones, yeah. In the Army Now in 1994, starring Pauly Shore and co-written by Stu Krieger, father of Gus, who is a friend of the show.
Nice. Awful movie. Sorry, Gus.
No, it's bad.
Hey, buddy. I'm the weasel.
I had a fun day where he was in a pilot that I was helping shoot, and his car broke down, and so I had to drive him around all day. Like, every time he saw me on set, he was like, "Hey, it's the driver guy!" And I was just like, all right, man.
Look, Pauly Shore's fine.
He was a nice guy.
Good for him for having a career.
He's weird.
Had to be tough for him with his mom being Mitzi Shore, who ran the comedy store.
And all having to compete with any of them.
Yeah.
It's like, that was,
And then, there's any sort of, you get on stage and it's nepotism, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And look, people loved him. He was hugely successful.
Yeah.
People loved to...
People connected with him.
Hit the wheeze or whatever he talked about. I don't know.
Stuff the wheeze or something? I don't know what it was.
Because he was the weasel, wasn't he?
Yeah, the wheeze. Yeah. Petrie currently sits on the board of trustees for the Writers Guild of America.
All right.
The script was given to Jack Epps Jr. and Jim Cash for a polish. The names might sound familiar because they're most well known for writing the script for Top Gun.
All right.
Give our Top Gun episode a listen for more on Epps and Cash.
Yeah.
They had a very weird relationship.
Epps and Cash.
One of them, I don't remember which one. One of them was the teacher for the other, and they ended up started writing scripts together. It was weird. Henry Winkler was offered the job of directing the film.
I was just going to say, this is the beginning of a very famous feud in Hollywood.
Yes. Winkler was stung by his own success. He was insanely popular on Happy Days, which ended in 1984, but he was so typecast, he didn't get a single acting gig until 1991.
Which really surprises me, because he did such a great job in Night Shift.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was plenty of other stuff he was doing during Happy Days. Like, people are just idiots, I guess.
Well, look, honestly,
or maybe executives are idiots.
The Fonz was a worldwide phenomenon.
He was, not to say the word that I know we both hate, he was iconic.
Well, it works, because it's true.
Yes.
That was the lunchboxes, dolls, everything. We were all going, we were all hitting,
Everybody
jukeboxes.
knew who the Fonz was.
Everyone.
You didn't have to watch Happy Days and you knew who the Fonz was.
I was trapped in the Amazon, and I fell off this boat and went down this river and washed ashore in this tiny pocket that no human being has ever been to before, and I come bursting through the thick canopy of the jungle, and there, sitting around a fire, was an unperturbed group of individuals who had never seen any bit of society before. And the guy turned to me and went, "Hey," 2 thumbs up.
They were all wearing leather jackets.
They were, and I was like, Fonz.
All right.
I lived with that tribe for 3 years.
Wow.
Great.
Hey.
Yeah, the Fonz.
So because of this, Winkler turned to another passion, directing, which he dabbled in while he was acting on Happy Days.
Oh, yeah.
In 1982, he directed an episode of Joni Loves Chachi, starring Aaron Moran and Scott Baio, a spinoff from Happy Days.
Considered the best episode of Joni Loves Chachi.
Okay.
I don't know. Joni Loves Chachi was
I'm going to
horrible.
agree with you. I know, it was not good.
I watched it.
Scott Baio.
I loved Scott Baio as a kid.
Sure.
Yeah, Bugsy
Charles.
Malone.
Charles in Charge.
Charles in Charge.
Yeah. 1984, Winkler directed and was executive producer for the CBS School Break special All the Kids Do It, starring Scott Baio, which won the 1985 Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Children's Special, and was nominated for the 1985 Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Directing in Children's Programming.
It's all about masturbating.
All the Kids Do It!
Yep. And it was just like a half hour of Scott Baio pulling the old pud.
Okay.
And you can hear Winkler off camera.
Hey, just do a little faster. Just do a little faster.
Hey! Do it faster.
In 1986, Winkler directed A Smoky Mountain Christmas, a TV movie starring Dolly Parton and Lee Majors.
I'm sure I saw that.
I'm sure you did, too. Winkler directed his first theatrical release in 1988, Memories of Me, with Billy Crystal, Alan King, and Jo Beth Williams.
Not a good movie.
It was written by Billy Crystal and Eric Roth. Roth has actually been nominated for 6 Academy Awards for writing.
You don't get nominated when you're writing with Billy Crystal.
No. Unfortunately, despite mixed reviews and 3.5 stars out of 4 from Roger Ebert, the movie was a box office flop, barely making a quarter of its budget back. So Tom Hanks was cast as Detective Scott Turner.
Yeah.
Having been on an acting hiatus for 4 years and considering giving up acting altogether, this was a script written with Bill Murray in mind to make a comeback.
Really?
Bill Murray had stopped acting for years, and it originally was written with him in mind to make him get back into acting.
That would have been awesome. I mean,
he would have been
sorry, Tom Hanks,
fantastic in that.
but I would have loved to see the Bill Murray Turner and Hooch.
Unfortunately, Murray agreed to return to acting at commitments in Scrooged in '88 and Ghostbusters 2, which prevented him from taking on the role of Scott Turner.
Well, he should have taken it instead of
Ghostbusters 2.
Yes.
Oh, no, I like Ghostbusters 2.
Okay.
Having just completed Big in 1988, which made $151.7 million from an $18 million budget, and The Burbs in 1989, Tom Hanks wasn't sure he wanted to commit to the movie as he had also married Rita Wilson in between all the movies he was working on and wanted to take a small break to spend time with her.
Aww.
Ultimately, it was Rita Wilson who convinced him to take the part.
I don't want to spend any time with you, Tom. Just go back to work. Good Lord.
We started this relationship with you being gone 6 months out of the year. Continue.
I can't take it.
Others considered for the part of Turner in case Hanks said no include
John Larroquette, Steve Guttenberg, Richard Gere, Dudley Moore, Jack Nicholson, Bill Murray, and Chevy Chase. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Dudley Moore, definitely not. I think Larroquette would have been funny.
John Larroquette, no. I'm sorry. He's a good street man, but it's...
I could be honest, I don't think I've seen him in enough movies to say if he would be good or not.
He's a second banana. He's not a leading guy.
Yeah,
and that's not a dig. He's just a character.
He's very good at it, yeah.
Gutenberg was done by then. Nobody wanted to see the Goot.
He had done too many Police Academy movies by that point.
Richard Gere is a dumb choice.
That would not... He's so well known for his comedy.
Yeah, exactly. Dudley Moore, a little too old at that point.
Yeah, agreed.
Don't buy him as a cop. Nicholson, fine. Nicholson can do anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
At that time, yeah, I agree.
This was like the height of his popularity. This was right after Batman. And so he was huge.
Oh, no, this was right at the same time as Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, even before Batman, he was a huge star.
Well, of course he was. Nobody knew who Jack Nicholson was before Batman.
Bill Murray, awesome. Chevy Chase. 90s, late 80s, 90s Chevy Chase is when we start to get him phoning it in.
Yeah, he starts to lose it a little bit. Yeah, agreed. While Hanks was filming Turner and Hooch, The Burbs was released, and while it started out strong, box office receipts fell off rapidly, affecting Hanks' mood during shooting.
I don't think people knew what to make of The Burbs.
I know.
Because it was marketed as a wacky, big light comedy, but it was more of a weird, subversive comedy.
Yes, very dark and very subversive.
So I think people didn't expect what they got, and they were a little surprised and probably a little bit unhappy.
It was definitely a movie made before its time.
Yes, it holds up much better now.
Yeah,
and great performance by Corey Feldman. Got to give it up.
Oh, everybody in that movie is so good.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
It's
so
great.
Much.
We'll be doing our Lesser Hanks month.
Yeah,
and we'll be doing that definitely.
Yeah, in the Money Pit.
If we must.
Originally, Scott Turner was supposed to be a stereotypical slob bachelor, but having played such laid-back characters at the time in Dragnet, Big, and The Burbs, Tom Hanks wanted a more challenging role, so Turner was rewritten to be more of an uptight neat freak. To get the dogs to react to Tom Hanks while filming, he had to spend time with his canine co-stars in the weeks leading up to filming to build a relationship that would be evident on camera.
That's the movie I want. That's what I want. I don't want to be in the Avengers or anything, and they pay me to go work out and get super buff. I want them to pay me to hang out with a dog.
Yeah, I think he hung out with the dogs literally for like 3 months.
It's the greatest job
in
the world.
It was just a few hours every day. Like, hey, go hang out with the pups.
What are you doing today for work? I'm getting paid $1 million to go hang out with some dogs. F you.
Yeah.
I'm going to dig some ditches in the heat.
And it totally works because his relationship with that dog on screen is so incredible.
It is great. And Belushi was great with Canine.
Yeah.
But the evolution of the relationship of Turner and Hooch is so much more organic and it's just so much more believable.
Yeah.
Just, it wasn't played for shtick. And look, this is the director. This isn't Jim Belushi, but I think Belushi, it was played for shtick. It wasn't played for hearts. They were making 48 hours, and in 48 hours, the good guys don't cry.
Right.
They're badass. They're too badass to cry. And Hanks was playing more of, to use the term of the time, a yuppie.
Yeah.
A more uptight, fastidious, smarter, more thinking man rather than the schlub running around with his gun out.
More white collar than blue collar.
Exactly. A thinking man's cop rather than a schlubby, wrinkled.
Which is why he was going to Sacramento and taking the big city.
Yeah, because he was a big fish in a little pond, and he wanted to investigate murders.
Yeah. Hanks later said that Turn Hooch was one of the more demanding experiences he had making a film because he had to act around the dog's reactions. In a 2001 interview with Larry King, Hanks recalled,
"There's one scene in there. It's a stakeout scene. I'm staking out a scene of the crime with my dog Hooch, and we shot that scene for 16 hours with 3 different cameras, and we were always rotating. We had a car on the set that was surrounded by bungee cams, literally cameras that were hanging from bungee cords. And the whole thing was about whatever this dog does, I react to. We will not ask the dog to do anything specifically. This dog will just do things."
Yeah, so he essentially had to improv around the dog for 16 hours.
Well, he's great at improv.
Yeah. I mean, that whole scene was great.
Yes.
With him talking and then we've known each other for a while now. Did you ever think about trying to do something about that drool?
Yeah. Him talking about Lucas Lynx or whatever the chimp thing on went for a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit too long.
It did.
Although I do remember that show, and it was quite funny.
Smoking.
Yeah. But yes, it was the perfect, because that's the whole thing. That's how cops bond in cops movies, is the stakeout.
Yeah,
Stakeout is where they get to know each other, and it was a really cute scene, and it really did a lot of character development for both of them.
It did. Hanks was nominated for Best Actor Academy Award for Big, losing to Dustin Hoffman for Rain Man. I didn't realize he got nominated for an Academy Award for that.
I'm gonna swap now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna swap now.
397 jelly beans.
Gotta get my on the pants.
He would win back-to-back Best Actor Oscars for Philadelphia in 93 and Forrest Gump in 94.
He deserved to be nominated for Big. It was a great performance.
It was great. I just didn't realize. They didn't nominate a lot of actors for comedy.
It is so difficult for an adult to play a convincing child.
Oh, and he did it so well.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Shazam. Oh, my God. If you want to see the worst depiction of an adult trying to play a child character, look at, what's that guy's name?
Lee.
Not Lee Pace. It's the dude from Chuck.
Yeah. Why can't I think of his name? Levi.
Zachary Levi. If you want to look at the worst, Zachary Levi. Because he actually has the kid character to play off of.
Yeah, he's there
and
all the
time. And the kid character is like, hey, I'm just... And then Zachary Levi plays it like he's 4 years old.
Yeah.
I'm Shazam, and I want to beat the bad guys. What the fuck-a-ba-boo?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, he's the worst. He's the absolute worst. But Tom Hanks was so convincing playing Josh. I mean, it was just such a heartfelt... You know, the greatest scenes were the scenes with him and... I forget the actress's name, but when they were kind of seducing, and he played it so real when she was coming on to him.
Yeah.
As a kid, I mean,
he was 12 and he didn't know what to do, and it was
impeccable, and it's like I said, it's not an easy thing to do.
It's a brilliant movie.
There's been so many tries. Like Dudley Moore did a pretty good job of playing Kirk Cameron. Like Father, Like Son.
Like Father, Like Son. Yeah, he actually did. Dudley Moore did a good job in that.
He was really good.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
But it's really hard. And that's why when it really works, it stands out. Tom Hanks is such a good actor. In Forrest Gump, the reason he has the accent and talks the way he does
is because
he followed the way the kid talked.
Yes.
Because he studied the kid.
Yes.
And he goes, well, it's going to make more sense for me to act like the kid than the kid try to act like me later.
And it was iconic.
Yeah.
Again, but it was an iconic voice.
Won an actor award. An
Academy Award. Some chocolates.
But that was,
know what you're gonna get.
But that's because Tom Hanks is a good actor.
Great actor. And F you, Zachary Levi.
Yes. He would actually be nominated 2 more times for Best Actor, Saving Private Ryan in 1998, losing to Roberto Benigni for Life is Beautiful.
F. Roberto Benigni. Oh, God, that was the Oscars when he was walking
Jumped
up
on the seats.
Stop the shtick, buddy.
Oh, my God.
You were so good in Down by Law, and then you just turned into a shtick monster, and everybody hated you.
I had never... I'd only seen Life is Beautiful. I didn't know Roberto Benigni before that.
Hey, look at me!
I just thought he was the biggest joke. And then he won Best Actor, and I was like, no, that's not. He's just being himself.
He's a shtick monster. You better go. I'm gonna walk on the seas and be a funny guy. Look at me! Look at me!
Tom Hanks was also nominated for Castaway in 2000, losing to Russell Crowe for Gladiator.
All right, I just want to say, Zachary Levi was really good in Chuck. I don't want to. I gotta say something nice.
Okay. It only took 5 more minutes, but you got back to it. I think that Tom Hanks was robbed for Castaway. I like Russell Crowe in Gladiator, but Tom Hanks in Castaway is a masterclass in acting.
Oh my God! And it was all him by himself.
Yeah,
and he had to change not only mentally but physically.
They literally stopped filming for a year so he could lose like 60 pounds.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't get why. I mean, I like Russell Crowe.
Sure.
Gladiator just felt like a generic movie to me.
Generic character, too.
Yeah.
You know, no, look, Russell Crowe imbues something into every character he does, and he's an exceptional actor. And even in bad movies, he's good. I started watching some... God Lord, man, there are so many movies about dementia now. There's like the movie with him as the cop. I just watched that So-and-So Goes Away, the movie with Batman. Knox Goes Away.
Knox Goes Away,
Michael Keaton.
Hanks would also be nominated for Best Supporting Actor in 2019 for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, losing to Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You know, I still haven't seen that either, about him playing Mr. Rogers, getting interviewed.
Why was he supporting?
He wasn't lead. The main guy was the interviewer.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a biopic of...
No. I mean, it was based
Fred
on
Rogers.
his interviews.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It was just based on his interviews. It was essentially how Fred Rogers changed that journalist because he got to know him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's supposedly a great movie. I just haven't seen it. But Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was amazing.
He's phenomenal. That guy is such a good actor.
Oh, so good. Tom Hanks will be seen in the upcoming films Here, directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Eric Roth, hopefully better than the awful Billy Crystal movie that he co-wrote.
What is this?
It's called Here. I don't know what it is. I didn't look into it. But it's Robert Zemeckis, so I think it'll be good.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's going to be on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, I think that's all Hanks does now.
Yeah,
his
he's
Apple
got some
Plus
deal
movies.
going with him. Yeah.
He did awful movie with him and some robot.
Oh man, I had the title. Anyway, yeah. He'll also be so the other thing he does beyond Apple TV Plus is he works with Wes Anderson because he will be in The Phoenician Scheme, written and directed by Wes Anderson, co-written by Roman Coppola, which comes out, I believe, next year at some point.
Awesome. Totally looking forward to that.
The Phoenician Scheme sounds like a heist movie, and I'm all for it.
He was really good in
the
last one, the
Asteroid City, or is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Asteroid City.
Yeah.
It was good. It was an interesting movie. I really enjoyed it. Wes Anderson's can be hit and miss for me, but more hit than miss.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
I wasn't a big fan of the Darjeeling Limited.
Really?
Yeah. But granted, I only saw it once, so I need to see
really
it.
enjoy that. My favorite part of the Darjeeling Limited was that Bill Murray couldn't be in the movie.
Right.
So they have that one scene of Bill Murray running to catch the train, and he misses the train, and
he's just not in the movie now.
He misses the movie, which I just thought was the greatest way to put him in. And
not have him be in the movie.
It was great. It's worth it just for that.
Beasley the dog was cast as Hooch. Hooch was actually played by a number of dogs, the main being a 17-month-old puppy named Beasley. He had a stunt double named Igor.
Okay, great.
Which is the best name for a dog ever. Especially a big French Mastiff like that.
This was like the E.T. of dogs. It was just so ugly it was cute.
Yes. He was charming. There were a number of stand-in dogs as well. Beasley is a Dogue de Bordeaux, also known as a French Mastiff. It's one of the oldest French dog breeds. Beasley was born in a dog kennel in Merrimack, Wisconsin, owned by Peter Curley. Beasley was later purchased along with 3 other dogs for production of the film.
Okay. Did they destroy them after the film?
Yeah. Once they're done, they're like,
All right,
well,
Hanks.
No, they put them in archive, and then they just slowly died.
All right, Hanks, take them up behind the bar, and here's your gun. 3 shots. Back of the head.
Well, that's what that shot of the dog getting shot is real. They actually shot the dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why they couldn't have him in the end because they had to kill the 3 dogs.
They were like, should we change the ending? Nah, the dog's dead.
If we don't, too bad we did 3 takes and had to kill 3 dogs.
Apologize to Phoebe right now for talking about dying dogs so much. This is also the thing. She loved this movie up until the point where the dog died.
Yeah, everybody did,
and
man.
Yeah. Anyway, the dogs were trained by Clint Rowe, who makes a brief appearance in the film as an ASPCA officer. Scenes with Turner walking Hooch took a lot of takes, as Beasley the dog was so strong, Hanks would frequently drop the leash.
Like a beast, that dog.
The dog is huge. Despite chocolate being fed to Hooch in the movie, do not feed chocolate to your dog. It's very toxic.
Yeah, they even kind of mention it.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not good. And it's just him eating chocolate chip cookies, but don't feed the dog chocolate. It's bad for them.
I think everybody who has a dog knows that, and if they don't, they shouldn't have a dog.
That's true. I found out recently there's a ton of stuff that dogs are toxic for dogs, so they have no idea.
That's why I like cats.
Yeah.
They can eat anything.
They can eat anything, especially my face at night.
It's true.
Mare Winningham was cast as Dr. Emily Carson. Having collaborated with director Joe Dante in his previous film The Burbs, Tom Hanks originally wanted Meg Ryan to play the role of Emily, and even asked Dante to persuade her to accept it, as Ryan and Dante had previously become good friends, having worked together on Inner Space.
Great movie.
However, Ryan had signed on to do When Harry Met Sally and was unavailable at the time.
Good choice.
Yeah. She agreed to collaborate with Hanks, however, on a future project. The following year, they teamed up for Joe versus the Volcano and went on to star together in Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail.
Joe versus the Volcano is like...
1 out of 3 is not bad.
Yeah. Oh. Look, I love Joe versus Volcano.
I love Joe versus Volcano. I'm not a huge fan of Sleepless in Seattle.
Neither am I.
Or You've Got Mail. And You've Got Mail, to me, I don't even consider it to be a real movie. It's a weird AOL thing.
Yeah. Which one is the one where they meet at the... Is that Sleepless in Seattle?
Is where they meet at the top, yeah.
Sleepless in Seattle is cute.
It's not bad. It's fine. It's Hanks being Hanks. Like, he's good in it. Like, the whole monologue about the Dirty Dozen's really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad. It's a rom-com, like, whatever.
Yeah, but you're right. The AO... Isn't he like a book...
One of them works in a bookstore. I don't remember which one.
The other one's taken over the bookstore.
Something like that.
Conglomerate or something.
Yeah, they don't actually meet. They just keep emailing back and forth for a while. It was like a modern version of Sleepless in Seattle, but then not
What's
really.
up with these movies where they don't get to meet?
I don't know.
It's because the one movie that they did meet was a bomb, Joe versus the Volcano.
I know. Which is my favorite. I love Joseph versus Volcano.
They call me a flibberty gibbet.
It is... Again, like The Burbs, I just don't think people understood it.
They weren't ready for it. It's just a weird, goofy take on depression, and it is again bad marketing.
Yeah,
they tried to market it as like a rom-com, whatever,
funny comedy that's like blah,
and it's a dark, subversive, weird journey.
Dark and subversive and weird.
That's the thing with Hanks. Is he like Man with One Red Shoe? He had a lot of ambitious failures that I think. He was just trying stuff different. Like The Man with One Red Shoe was basically a remake of a French film, I think, that he was trying to, branch out as something more. And it took him until Philadelphia to finally get that role that broke him out of
that kind of more serious,
out of the goofy comedies.
But that's kind of the thing is that I think he dipped his toe in those kind of things, but they were still technically comedies,
right?
And. And even Big had some serious moments, and that's what he's good at.
He's a very sincere actor.
Yeah.
Everything comes across very sincere with him. He doesn't seem like he's phoning it in.
No, not at all.
And he's very good at the emotional moments, like when he was like I said, put the Jerry Lee death scene against the Hooch death scene, and it's nobody's business. I mean, it was very effective the way that he played that, and it was. Jim Belushi could have learned a thing from that.
Winningham has been nominated 8 times for a Primetime Emmy Award. She won Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Miniseries or Movie for Amber Waves in 1980 and George Wallace in 1998.
That was a good movie.
That was good. She was also nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for the 1995 film Georgia, losing to Mira Sorvino for Mighty Aphrodite.
Ugh, that is so... broke my heart. Mare Winningham was amazing.
Yeah.
No offense to Mira Sorvino, but that was so awful.
Her voice in that was the most annoying thing I've ever
I honestly
had.
don't think I've actually finished Mighty Aphrodite.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. She's awful. This is the beginning of the end for Woody Allen, thank God. And, it's like people were getting tired of his shtick.
Yeah. Winningham began her career as a singer-songwriter. In 1976 and 1977, she got her break singing the Beatles song Here, There, and Everywhere on The Gong Show.
Nice.
Mare Winningham first appeared in her first feature film in 1980 in One Trick Pony, written and starring Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Written by... Well, that's all we got to say about that.
Apparently, when it came to movies, he was a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Winningham... And that trick, not very impressive.
Winningham achieved greater fame co-starring in St. Elmo's Fire in 1985 alongside the other original Brat Pack alumni. In 1989, she appeared in the nuclear disaster drama Miracle Mile, for which she received an Independent Spirit Award nomination.
Nice.
Also starring Goose from Top Gun, Anthony Edwards.
Right.
Which is, I loved that movie because it's all set down by LACMA in L.A. and there's like a huge, it's such a good movie. Down by the tar pits and stuff. It's so good. Yeah. Over the years, Winningham has recorded and released 5 albums.
Did not know this.
Did not know that either. She will next be seen in Rob Peace, written and directed by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and starring Ejiofor, Jay Will, and Mary J. Blige.
I love Chiwetel Ejiofor.
He's good. It's a biopic about I believe, a poet. But I could be wrong.
If you want to see a movie with him, it's amazing. Watch Kinky Boots.
Oh yeah, he's such a good director.
Watch Serenity, Firefly movie.
Firefly movie.
Yeah, he plays the bad guy. He's so good. And he's an incredible actor.
He is. He really is. Craig T. Nelson was cast as Chief Howard Hyde.
Coach!
A number of people who were offered the part of Chief Howard Hyde before Nelson accepted. Michael Moriarty was offered the role of Chief Howard Hyde, but declined because he signed on to do a television pilot with Dick Wolf.
Yeah, which he did for 1,000 years.
The pilot was for Law & Order, which became one of the most popular programs on American television. Moriarty portrayed District Attorney Ben Stone for the first 4 seasons on that series.
Yeah, Moriarty, I'm Stone. I'm going to get this guy. You're going to help me put him away, aren't you? You're going to help me put him away.
David Graff was offered the role of Chief Howard Hyde, but declined because he felt uncomfortable playing a corrupt cop, as his most famous role of Tackleberry in the Police Academy franchise was the opposite type of police officer.
Also, he felt uncomfortable playing the part because nobody remembered who he was.
I literally, even just now, starting that sentence, forgot that he was the guy that played Tackleberry.
He was great as Tackleberry.
He was fantastic.
He died, didn't he?
Yeah, I do believe he did. Yeah. Louis Gossett Jr. was offered the role of Chief Howard Hyde, but didn't want to be typecast, having previously played strict authority figures in his Oscar-winning role in An Officer and a Gentleman and the Iron Eagle franchise. He also felt uncomfortable with the character being corrupt, as his previous characters, while rough around the edges, were not corrupt.
Chill out, dude. It's a movie, Louis. Good Lord.
All of them. Alan Alda was offered the role of Chief Howard Hyde, but was busy with Woody Allen's crimes and misdemeanors.
Wrong choice.
Oh, hey. Turner. I'm the bad guy.
Could you imagine Alan...
Talk about never thinking he was the bad guy ever.
Exactly. Hi. And could you imagine him with a shotgun? I'm going to shoot you. This is really great stuff. No.
No. It would have been interesting, but no.
Look, Alan Alda's a great actor, but
it would have been weird.
Yes.
Nelson played football, baseball, and basketball in high school before finding acting in college.
Of course. Athlete turned actor.
He was an early member of the Groundlings in the early 1970s.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot that.
Yeah. Nelson, Barry Levinson, and Rudy DeLuca formed their own comedy team and were regular performers at the Comedy Store.
Wow.
Speaking of Pauly Shore.
I had the exact same career path as Craig T. Nelson so far.
His feature film debut was in The Return of Count Yorga in 1971, a vampire horror film.
Me too.
The Count of Yorga, or whatever. After quitting the business in 1974 and living off-grid for 5 years, Nelson returned to acting in 1979 with a featured part in And Justice for All, co-written by his buddy Barry Levinson.
It is so fun to hear him talk about those years when he just grabbed his family and he's like,
we're out in the woods.
Just got out of here.
He literally lived in a cabin in the woods for 5 years.
And he used that experience to define his character in Poltergeist.
Yeah. Like, I need to get out of here. Like,
the hippie character with the weed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was from what I've heard him say, that character was the closest to who he is.
Oh, really?
Of anybody that he's played.
Oh, interesting. That's so funny. It's so funny. Nelson would make a bunch of movies over the years, but found his real fame through TV. In 1982, he was cast as a lead in Chicago Story, but it only ran for 13 episodes.
Yeah.
In 1984, he was cast as a lead in Call to Glory, but it only ran for 23 episodes.
Yeah.
He would finally find a show that hit with Coach in 1989, playing Hayden Fox, the head football coach at fictional Minnesota State University. It would run for 9 seasons, and he would appear in 198 of the 200 episodes.
Hey, Coach. There was that big guy, and then there was Jerry Van Dyke, who was so good.
No, Fabergé or Faber.
Yeah.
Fabergecki or
something like that.
I don't remember his name.
But Fagerback or something.
Something like that. Fagerback.
Anyway,
okay.
He was the guy that's really dog.
He was just big and
like
dumb.
This.
Yeah, big
and
and
dumb.
And then Jerry Van Dyke, who was just short and kind of dumb.
Yeah, Jerry Van Dyke. I love Jerry Van Dyke. Jerry Van Dyke would always come on the Dick Van Dyke Show as his brother, I think.
Yeah.
And then he was the whole gag with Jerry in the show was that he was extremely talented, but he was just too shy to ever perform.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they had to, like, hypnotize him to get him to play the banjo on the show or something. It was just, he was so charming. He was so different from his brother in such an amazing and complimentary way. Like, you could tell they were brothers, but they were so different in their approaches. Right. And I equally think I love Jerry Van Dyke as much as I love Dick Van Dyke, and I love Dick Van Dyke like nobody's business. And I loved Coach, man. I loved Coach.
Coach was great. It was because it was based off of the University of Iowa head coach at the time. Like, I was obsessed with this show.
Yeah.
And it was great. He was so good. Craig T. Nelson is so good.
He was a guy that I saw in stuff before Poltergeist and got that talent crush.
Yeah.
And then once Poltergeist hit, I was like, this guy, I got to see everything he does.
Yeah, yeah. He would actually be nominated twice for an Emmy for the show, winning in 1992.
Which he should have.
He should have, yeah.
I wonder how many Jerry Van Dyke won. He should have won them all.
Yeah, all of them, 90. He won 90.
He should.
In 2000, he was cast in The District, a police procedural that ran for 4 seasons. He would appear in all 89 episodes.
I don't know if I watched that.
I did not watch that. It was around the time when I was in college, and I wasn't watching TV at the time. In 2010, he was cast in the updated remake of Parenthood, based on the original 1989 movie that spawned a TV show in 1990.
Such a good show. Yeah. I was so surprised. I stayed away from it because I love Parenthood, the movie.
Yeah.
But it really is nothing like the movie.
No, it's really just the name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was brilliant as the patriarch.
Yeah.
And the wife from Die Hard played his wife.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. I'm horrible with names. And Dax Shepard was in that show as one of the brothers.
That's right. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where he kind of got his big
thing.
Yeah,
he did, yeah.
He was great. The kid from... Oh, my God. The kid from Ted that plays the young...
In the show?
In the show, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
He was on Parenthood playing an autistic kid.
Yes.
He was so goddamn good
he was so
that
good.
I thought the kid was autistic.
Yeah,
I mean, that kid is such a good actor.
Such a good actor.
If you haven't seen Parenthood, check it out, man.
Find it, yeah.
There's a solid seasons. Amazing performance by Raymond. Yeah, he played a really good private photographer. But he was,
really?
Really great, like,
interesting
dramatic part. Mm-hmm. Like, so many actors that you wouldn't necessarily think would be great.
Right.
David Krause was one of the sons, and he was great, brother of the Dax Shepard. I can't recommend that show enough. I kind of got into it late and then was hooked until the end.
Wow.
And Mae Whitman, too. Amazing performance.
Yeah. It would run for 6 seasons, and Nelson would appear in 91 of the 103 episodes. In 2020, he was cast as Coach Ballard in the 3rd season of Young Sheldon. He would appear in 44 episodes over the last 5 seasons.
Never saw it.
Never watched it either. I was never a fan.
I never really watched the
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I watched some of it in the beginning.
It's one of those, like, I may sit down at some point and, like, it may be one of those late night sitcoms that Phoebe and I watch when we fall asleep, because it's so innocuous and just kind of whatever.
It's like, I think it's the same creator too. 2.5 Men.
It is. Chuck Lorre.
Yeah, they're very forgettable shows.
Yeah.
That there's nothing really going on. Although one of the main reasons I would watch that Nerdlinger show, what's it called?
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Thanks. Would be because Bob Newhart was on.
Oh yeah. Him and there's a lot of Will Wheaton was on it, and every time he was on, he was really good.
Yeah.
It's not a bad show.
No,
it's just kind of inoffensive and like there.
Yeah, it's just there. Again, like 2.5 Men. It just existed.
Yeah,
and it was funny. It was a good waste of time.
It was huge for a while.
Yeah,
but I just never got on that bandwagon.
Real nerds didn't like it.
Bazinga!
Okay. Bazinga!
Nelson is now waiting for a new TV show to take over at the age of 80, with Young Sheldon finally ending in 2024. He hasn't been cast in anything, but I'm guessing he's going to keep working.
I hope so.
I mean, part of me wants to watch Young Sheldon because I really like Craig T. Nelson.
Same. He's a guy that I'll watch him in anything.
Yeah.
And he never disappoints, ever.
No. Reginald VelJohnson was cast as Detective David Sutton. VelJohnson almost turned down the role of Sutton, having played a police officer in Die Hard and having just committed to playing another cop on his long-running TV series Family Matters, which had debuted the same year as Turner and Hooch, and he was also asked to briefly reprise his role in Die Hard 2, which filming was to begin after Turner and Hooch ended.
Hey, fellas, I think I've just been playing too many cops.
He almost declined due to concerns of being typecast. Ultimately, he chose to sign on due to Tom Hanks' popularity with Big and The Burbs, and felt working with Hanks would be the key for a box office hit.
There you go. Plus, cha-ching, check didn't hurt.
Yeah. Ernie Hudson was the second choice for the role of David Sutton, in case Reginald VelJohnson would have turned it down.
Would have been great.
Hudson would have been great. VelJohnson made his feature film debut in Wolfen in 1981.
That's right, and we'll be covering that.
Covering that in October.
Yep.
Yeah, super excited to see that. I don't think I've ever actually seen it. If I did, I don't remember any of it.
It's another one I'm a little concerned about. I haven't seen it in a long time. Loved it as a kid, but
yeah.
And my sister also loved it because we talked about Wolfen recently.
Yeah.
So, and she's got much better taste than I. So,
he would have bit parts in Ghostbusters, Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins, and Crocodile Dundee before being cast in Die Hard.
Remo Williams is such a good movie.
It's such a good movie. So underrated. Piggybacking off his successful turn in Die Hard, VelJohnson would play Carl Winslow over 9 seasons, appearing in all 215 episodes.
Did I do that?
As he grew older, VelJohnson started a lucrative voiceover career. He can most recently be heard playing Principal Winslow on Invincible.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is funny.
A ton of other stuff.
Same name.
And it's literally named after his character on... I mean, literally, the school is called, like, the Carl Winslow, like, high school or whatever. And here's a funny thing I did not include, but VelJohnson is not technically his original name. His actual name is Reginald Johnson. He changed it to VelJohnson because he thought it sounded cooler.
He's right. It does sound
He was like, I wanted something that people would remember, and VelJohnson was it.
Yeah, we haven't forgotten his name.
No. So Scott Pollan was cast as Zach Gregory, the quote-unquote hitman who had enough wherewithal to be able to stab a guy in the lung and not have him scream.
He had Special Forces training.
Special Forces training. Sorry. All the coffee just kicked in. Pollan first guest starred on several television series during the late 70s and early 80s, including 2 episodes of St. Elsewhere in 1981. He gained notice appearing in the television film Vampire. He got his big break in 1983 with a supporting role in the widely acclaimed space film The Right Stuff, playing astronaut Deke Slayton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Over his career, he would appear in over 100 movies and TV shows, including
Teen Wolf, The Accused, Pump Up the Volume, and Captain America in 1990.
Yeah, the really awful Captain America movie in 1990.
You know what's crazy to me? Is there has never been an actor, to me, that looks more like they should be on soap operas than Scott Pollan, and looks like he wasn't on one.
No, I don't think he was.
I was waiting for you to say, and he played for 750 episodes as Dr. Rex Wilson on General Hospital.
He also voiced Jasper T. Jowls from Chuck E. Cheese from 1977 to 1985.
That is effing hilarious.
That is weird, and I love it.
I do too, and he does not look like Jasper.
No.
What a great... Because Jasper was a weirdo.
Yeah. His last credit is appearing in 4 episodes of The Young and the Restless in 2014.
Yes, I was
did
right.
it. He did it at the end of his career rather
Finally.
than the beginning. He is now retired at the age of 74.
Sweet. He's alive.
He's alive. He just retired. He was like,
Okay.
I'm good.
So far, everybody's alive, right? Hanks,
Except for
Johnson?
the writers. Some of the writers.
Who cares? But the
But yeah, everybody else is still alive.
everybody except for Beasley.
Yeah, the dog.
Okay.
The dog, yeah. J.C. Quinn was cast as Walter Boyett. I didn't have a lot about him. He's best known for Maximum Overdrive, The Abyss, and The Prophecy.
Okay.
I don't really know a lot else about him, except for that not finally, that sounds bad. Our first, he died in a car crash in Mexico in February of 2004.
Oh, no.
Yeah, something I don't remember. I didn't read why, but it's a car crash in Mexico.
He was in a lot of stuff in the 70s.
He did a lot. He was a character actor.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he was in a lot of stuff.
You would see him pop up in, like Burt Reynolds movies or Westerns or cop stuff. He just had that look.
I remember him most from Maximum Overdrive because I think he's one of the people that's stuck inside the gas station or whatever.
The diner.
The diner.
Yeah, he might have been the diner owner.
That's possible. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
We're gonna cover it.
Gotta make sure we find some cocaine for that.
Yes. Yes.
John McIntire was cast as Amos Reed.
Amos Reed.
McIntire is well known for replacing TV stars after they've died.
Okay.
He replaced Ward Bond upon Bond's sudden death in November of 1960 as the star of NBC's Wagon Train.
Okay.
He played Christopher Hale, the leader of the Wagon Train and successor to Bond's character Seth Adams from early 1961 to the series' end in 1965.
All right.
Now, it's it happened once. Okay. Happened again. He also replaced Charles Bickford upon Bickford's death in 1967 as ranch owner Clay Granger, brother of Bickford's character on NBC's The Virginian for 4 seasons.
Uh-huh.
John McIntire
is a murderer.
Case closed. Yeah.
How'd you get your parts? John? Get out of here. Don't ask me those questions.
In 1960, he played Sheriff Al Chambers in Psycho, which is what I remember him most from.
Yeah, most people probably.
Which also, in 1960, he looked exactly as old as he did in Turner and Hooch 29 years later.
Another one of those guys that looked like he was 60.
I thought he was in his 80s in Psycho.
Well, people looked old back then.
That's true.
A lot of red meat, whiskey, and cigarettes, bud.
In 1975, he played Judge Parker in Rooster Cogburn, starring John Wayne and Katharine Hepburn.
Oh my God, he was so good in that. He was also the guy that was mad.
Yeah.
He was very. He was an exceptionally good character actor, as you could see in this, as the sympathetic.
So good.
So good.
Him and Hanks played off each other so well.
Well, because this guy is a pro, man. I mean, his turn in Psycho was amazing. He just always gave a very solid performance, and he was versatile and amazing.
In 1984, he appeared in Cloak and Dagger with his wife, Jeanette Nolan, playing the older spy couple.
They were awesome.
They were so good.
Totally forgot.
Love that movie so much, and I always forget that's him.
Yeah.
With his wife.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were actually married.
That's so cool.
So funny.
That'll be fun to talk about when we do it.
I love that movie so much. Turner and Hooch, unfortunately, would be his final film. McIntire died from emphysema and lung cancer at St. Luke's Hospital in Pasadena on January 30th, 1991, at the age of 83.
Oh.
Yeah. He had a long run. He had a good run.
He did.
David Nell was cast as Ernie. Ernie was the driver of the car they take over to chase down the bad guy, to chase down Scott Pullen.
Hey, my mom's car, she's going to kill me. Don't go over 40.
There's groceries back there. The dog's just drooling all over the groceries.
Come on, shut up. This is good for the car. You're going to break it in.
Nell is a character actor that appeared in dozens of movies and TV shows. Appearances include
Splash, Total Recall, Seen Elsewhere, Alf, Brett Maverick, Murder, She Wrote, My Blue Heaven, Blossom, Murphy Brown, and Diagnosis Murder.
He most recently can be seen in Pig opposite Nick Cage, answering the question,
"Where's my pig?"
Yeah. That was really good in Nick Cage.
That is such a good movie.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God. It's every few years, Nicolas Cage will do something to just refresh our memories that he's one of the greatest American actors ever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And this is it, man. I was so pleasantly surprised by this movie. And he is phenomenal in it. Phenomenal.
Yeah. It's not, he's been doing a lot more, because the unbearable weight of talent, or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbearable weight of massive talent, or whatever.
Yes, with Pedro Pascal.
It was so good in that, too.
That was really fun. But again, that to me is
right.
With
it's still
the goofy
that kind
Cage.
of goofy, yeah.
But this is like
he's serious.
Actor Cage.
Where's my pig?
Where's my pig? But he, it is so good, and it's just so sad too. I mean, it's just watch it. Okay. Watch it.
Abby Rose Smith was cast as Harley McCabe. Smith made his acting debut in Brubaker in 1980. He would make appearances in
The Big Easy, Amazing Stories, The Blue and the Gray, Fatal Beauty, Big Bad Mama 2, Tapeheads. Listen to our Tapeheads episode. Fletch Lives, Cheers, and Doogie Has a Remedy.
In 1993, he wrote and produced Falling Down, starring Michael Douglas, directed by Joel Schumacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
that
my
is
God.
why I included him in this, because I love that movie so much.
Such a good movie.
Such a good movie. Smith hasn't acted since an episode of Grimm in 2012. He's now 75. He's retired.
Oh.
And there's a couple other actors that we need to mention that I did not include in the script.
Yeah, I just quickly two actors that I really love.
Yeah.
One is Jim Beaver. Who,
Oh, yeah.
if you're a fan of Supernatural, you know him as the boy's uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
His catchword was "Idjit, you idjits."
He was also in, I said Tombstone, but not...
Deadwood. He was in Deadwood. I think he's
So good.
He's an amazing character actor. Can most recently be seen playing the president on Boys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because Eric Kripke also
Right, is on
developed
The Boys.
Supernatural.
Right.
And he did The Boys, and so we're getting a lot of
crossover.
Yeah, he's just a great actor. Again, a great character actor. Has that look.
Yeah.
He's just one of those grizzly guys.
He was so good in this. It's just, hey, I just talked to him.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything about you guys being here.
You guys got to get out of here now. Yeah, and on The Boys, he did his iconic Idjit.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then the other actor was Eldon Henson.
Yes.
Which you may know from the Daredevil series.
He plays one of the Boyette children. Mm-hmm. He's not in. He has one line. He's not in it very much, but
He did some great work as a child actor and as a
Instantly
teen actor.
recognizable, yeah.
He was the best friend of Rachel Lee Cook in She's All That.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. He was a very chameleon-esque
Oh, yeah.
little character actor.
He's great. And he was great in Daredevil. I
Yeah.
mean, playing Foggy Nelson. He was great.
He was really great in this, too. He just had one scene.
One line, but
Super
one scene,
cute.
but he was great. Yeah.
He was great. So, I just wanted to give them a shout-out because I love both those actors.
So 13 days into production, Jeffrey Katzenberg called up Henry Winkler and fired him.
Yes, and this is why, which is the strangest feud. People were always like, what, the Fonz and Tom Hanks hate each
Yeah.
other? They're feuding? But I think they may have patched it up.
Word on the street is that Winkler and Hanks did not get along at all, and Hanks was deemed a more bankable name, so Winkler was fired.
Yeah, I could see it. Hank seems kind of laid back, but he also is very conscious of what the project is.
Yeah. And it seems from earlier, if you recall, he had been working a lot.
Yeah.
And I think he was kind of on the kind of short patience
Burnt
of
out.
I just want to finish this
Look,
and then go have my honeymoon and
all I want to do is go spend some time with Rita, and she's like, I hate you, go do a movie because you're gross. And so he was in a bad mood because of that. He was exhausted, and then here comes
Henry Winkler, let's make a movie. I'm super positive. You have some cookies that my wife made.
and he's just like, shut up, Fonz.
Yeah. When asked about getting fired, Winkler said,
Let's just say I got along better with Hooch than I did with Turner.
Ron Howard, friends with both Winkler and Hanks, says that the two men have patched things up over the years and there is no bad feelings between them.
Okay, I've heard different things from Henry Winkler, but
This is what Ron Howard says, so who knows?
Ron Howard is a liar.
I mean,
Everybody knows that.
I'm sorry, but I would hold a grudge for a long time if I got fired from a feature film.
All right, well, over 40 years, 30 years?
Yes.
Okay. I think they're both doing okay.
They're both fine.
I think actually Henry Winkler's probably doing a little bit better than Hanks right now. I think he's up because of Barry and he's doing a little bit more interesting work.
Whatever. I mean, he wasn't in A Man Called Otto.
Hey, that was fine, except for the relentlessly depressing ending that just beats you to death.
So they replaced Winkler with Roger Spottiswoode, who you may recall directed, oh my God, now I've forgotten the name of it. The Sidney Poitier movie we were talking about earlier, Tom Berenger movie. Shoot to Kill. He directed Shoot to Kill. Shoot to Kill. In the 1960s, Spottiswoode, born in Ontario, Canada, entered the British film industry as a trainee editor, where he apprenticed under editor John Bloom. In the early 1970s, Spottiswoode edited several films for Sam Peckinpah.
I love Sam Peckinpah.
Peckinpah's good. And Straw Dogs.
Straw Dogs, yeah.
Isn't that Dustin Hoffman?
Get off of my wife. Yeah,
That was Dustin Hoffman. Yeah.
Get off of my wife.
Roger Spottiswoode edited that movie.
Oh, wow.
So that's my favorite Sam Peckinpah movie. Saying favorite is loose.
Oh, yeah. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, I think, might be mine.
Oh, yeah.
Peckinpah is the father of ultraviolence. Like, he really used blood for the first time and just tried to depict violence as gross and shocking. And took all the romanticism and
it was very real and just this is messed.
Oh yeah. Oh God, his stuff is just bloody.
It's great. He wanted to direct. Spottiswoode wanted to direct, and Walter Hill advised him the best way in was to write a script. Hill and Spottiswoode collaborated on the scripts for 48 hours and then never made The Last Gun. Spottiswoode turned to directing in the early 1980s and has since directed a number of notable films and television projects, including Under Fire in 1983.
Ooh, with Nick Nolte.
Yeah. Shoot to Kill in 1988. And the 1997 James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies, starring Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. It's about the time when James Bond was irrelevant. Yeah, unfortunately. When released, Turner and Hooch debuted at number 1 in the box office with just over $12 million.
Woohoo!
That's a cash. It would garner just over $71 million in box office from a $13 million budget, making it commercially successful.
Yeah, very much so.
Ironically, it didn't make as much money as the other dog movie of the summer, K9.
Yeah, because they killed the dog.
I know. Critical response was mixed. Michael Wilmington of the Los Angeles Times wrote,
They worked together with the seeming near telepathic sensitivity of longtime vaudeville partners.
Variety wrote,
Until its grossly miscalculated bummer of an ending, Turner and Hooch is a routine but amiable cop and dog comedy enlivened by the charm of Tom Hanks and his homely as sin K9 Barker.
Speaking of the ending, Hanks has gone on record saying that the movie would have been even more successful if they hadn't killed Hooch at the end.
Hey guys. Hi, it's Bob the Executive. Okay, so, that was my idea.
Yeah.
Kill the dog. Because we had the other movie, they didn't kill the dog, so kill the dog.
Yeah.
But I felt it didn't go far enough. My original ending was dog's dead. Hanks comes home, same thing, goes up, he opens the closet with the puppy, and then a bowling ball falls from the top shelf and crushes the puppy to death. Double bummer ending. We filmed it, but it didn't test very well.
Do you have a dog at home?
Not anymore. I'm not allowed to.
Just leave it locked in the car like you did your kids?
Well, it ate my kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't a dog, it was a mountain lion. Big mix-up.
So there were actually 2 endings shot, with the alternate being that Hooch doesn't die. They tested both endings, and both endings garnered the same response, so the filmmakers went with Hooch dying since it hit that emotional quotient just a little harder.
Yeah, but I don't believe that it tested the same. There's no way that people were like, I'd rather see the dog die.
Yeah, I'm okay with the dog dying. It's fine.
Did they go to, like, the sociopath convention? Or, like, a cat convention?
It was in private screening in an insane asylum.
Yes, kill the dog! Yeah, they went to Michael Vick's house and all of his friends. No, yeah, come on, man. I mean,
I know. I agree. It was a misstep. It was a bad misstep for a very good movie.
You never, ever kill the dog.
Don't kill the dog.
Especially in a comedy, man.
Yeah, don't kill the dog.
Even in Cujo, where you're like, oh, should we kill the dog? But
don't kill the dog. Never,
ever kill the dog. And look, this is one of the reasons why this isn't on rotation for me.
Yeah. It's I love this movie.
Yeah.
But it's always that dreaded feeling of like, we're getting to the end. As soon as this happened the last time we watched it.
Yeah.
As soon as Tom Hanks shows up at the factory and then Craig T. Nelson shows up, I'm like, well, this is the beginning of the dog dying.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep. Let's just get the F out of here.
I just want to pause it and pretend like it never happened.
Yeah. I think they also probably chose the dead dog ending because of K9.
I would agree. They had to discern themselves.
Exactly.
The irony is that this movie was so different. Yes, it had dogs and cops in it, but this movie was so different from K9.
K9, as we said, was 48 hours. It was a buddy cop movie with 2 cops. Dog cop, schlub cop. Schlub cop, dog cop.
Yeah.
Partners. This is Tom Hanks. This is so much... There's so much more depth to this film.
Yeah.
Because you have a fastidious, type A control freak who has to completely change his life because this dog comes into it.
Well, and he has to because the dog saw something.
Yes.
So he knows that he has to figure it out to help this dog.
Yeah.
Or, to have the dog help him.
Yes. And then a much more interesting love connection, much more interesting supporting cast. It's just... To me, K9 is they took 48 Hours 3, crossed out 48 Hours 3, and then instead of Eddie Murphy, they put
a dog.
Jerry Lee.
Yeah.
So, it's just what it was. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just what it was. No. But this was just so much, again, because Tom Hanks is such an exceptional actor.
Yeah.
And I think that he really brought something to this film that elevated it up more than just regular dumb dog movies.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
And it just sucks. Because I think this movie would have made $200 million if the dog lived.
Oh, yeah. Agree. They totally
would have made a sequel.
Get that word of mouth, man. After that opening weekend, people are like, well, I kind of want to see it anyway. But then it's like, I guarantee you half the audience is like, why would I want to go watch that?
I don't want to see it again. Once the dog died, I was just like so bummed.
Oh my God. I can never... the last time I watched this before we watched it for the show, I was watching it with Phoebe.
Oh, no.
I was like, it's a dog movie. I totally forgot that the dog dies at the end.
Yeah.
And she was like,
it
gets shot, and then she's like, does the dog die? And I was like, I don't think so. And then the dog died. She was like, why would you make me watch this?
That's so mean. That's so mean, yeah.
I totally forgot.
My sister's the exact same way. She cannot watch anything where animals get hurt. So I always have to be, I'm like, well, you probably like it, except, because she's just,
Well, there was watching Fallout. There were scenes that whole episode where the dog appears. Like there were times Phoebe had to hide her face. She was like, "I don't want to see any violence."
Well, yeah,
towards the dog.
I was like, "They killed the dog," but they didn't kill the dog. But they made it seem like they killed the dog.
I just kept telling her. I was like, "I know they don't kill the dog."
I made sure to let you know.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. A pilot for Turner and Hooch television series was filmed, starring Tom Wilson of Back to the Future fame. He played Biff.
Okay, I like Tom.
I like him too, and Wendy Pratt. Who I'm not sure who that is. It would retcon...
Chris Pratt's mom.
Chris Pratt's mom. Oh, okay. It would actually retcon the original film's ending, and Hooch is revealed to have survived a near-death injury.
Yeah, because they learned their lesson.
The plot revolves around the continued investigations of the titular duo with Scott Turner and his recent marriage with Emily. It aired on the Magical World of Disney, but the series was not picked up. Since then, Turner and Hooch has become a bit of a cult classic. Turner and Hooch has been referred to in various films and television shows, including the sitcom Scrubs, in which main characters JD and Turk modify shift schedules so that doctors Turner and Hooch are teamed up as a surgical team, and the episode My Faith in Humanity.
It was a fun show. I really like Scrubs.
It was a great show.
Until they left at the end, and then it was really bad.
It was weird. The last season was weird. In the episode, Dr. Turner was played by Jim Hanks, Tom Hanks' brother.
Yeah.
And also, Gen X Files headquarters is like literally a block and a half from where Scrubs was filmed.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, they tore the hospital down and put up awful condos.
They did. That place was great. They used to film so many different shows there.
It was just essentially a shut down hospital.
An abandoned hospital, yeah.
That was it was shoot everything you can there.
Yeah, I used to love driving by there.
Yeah. In 2019, a reboot TV show of Turner and Hooch was picked up by Disney+. I'm saying reboot in quotes. Josh Peck was cast as U.S. Marshal Scott Turner. And 5 French Mastiffs would play Hooch.
I don't know.
It was later revealed that the series will serve as a legacy sequel, with Peck's character being the son of the role portrayed by Tom Hanks in the original film. Reginald VelJohnson returned to play David Sutton, the same character he played, but he's now the mayor of the town.
Makes sense.
The first episode of Turner and Hooch debuted on July 21st, 2021, with subsequent episodes releasing weekly thereafter. Unfortunately, the series was canceled by December of the same year, though it is being shopped around other networks and other streaming services. All right, well, I mean, that's all I got. I definitely, at some point, probably check out the Turner and Hooch show. It's on Disney+. I mean,
I'll check out the one with...
Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson.
I'm sure it's probably on YouTube.
I have no desire to see the Josh Peck one. I don't need any more Turner and Hooch if Tom Hanks isn't involved.
Yeah, I get that.
To me, it's just fine the way it is. I wish they would release a version with the dog living.
Yeah.
They've shot it both ways.
They need to release it as the better version.
Exactly, the happy version.
Now, 40 years later, we get the happy version.
But again, it would have been one of my favorite Hanks movies if it weren't for the ending. And the ending doesn't ruin the movie, but it does not help it.
Does not make me want to sit down and watch it again.
That's why this isn't a, like Big or the Bachelor Party or The Burbs or one of the quintessential Hanks comedies.
The Money Pit.
Sure. No.
Daggers.
Maybe I'll like The Money Pit when I watch it again.
No.
Maybe I'll like it.
No.
Look, if you haven't seen this movie, watch it until the end. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out because it's such a great, fun performance by Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
The dog is adorable. The supporting cast is strong. It's a solid story.
It's a good mystery. The relationship, the character relationship between Turner and Hooch is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the best dog-human relationship movies that I can.
Yeah,
You know,
well, until we get to Top Dog.
Till we get to Top Dog. But yeah, look, unfortunately, one of the biggest missteps.
Yeah,
it's
disappointing.
Filmdom, because you never kill the dog. And especially in a Tom Hanks movie, man.
It's just amazing to me that of the 4 movies we're covering, this is the one where the dog dies.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
I don't know. But don't let it discourage you if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it in a while.
It's on Disney Plus. It's available. Just give it a watch. It's good. It's still really good.
It's prime Hanks.
Yeah.
And everybody loves some prime time Hanks. But yeah, that's it we got for that one.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with, whoo, buddy.
This is not your room.
Yes.
Upright.
Uptight?
It should be uptight, I think.
I think I was saying it right. An uptight neat freak. Reginald VelJohnson, excuse me, Reginald VelJohnson
was married to, he's a great character. He's an amazing character actor. But Peckinpah was the
woo!
It's because Peckinpah got me all juiced. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. A different world, already in progress.